What up, what nuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, and St. Louis Blunt Nuts? It's Tuesday, March 26th in the United States of America, and this is What Chaos. I'm DJ Bean. Chanda Paz is there. Pete Blackburn is there. Hi, Pete.
Hello. I like the St. Louis Blunt Nuts. That was pretty nice.
St. Louis Blunt Nuts. Yeah, I was gonna do another little riff off a name that we're gonna talk about in a little bit. I don't know if it was maybe a little distasteful, but we'll find out when we get to it.
Okay.
You watch St. Louis Blunt Nuts?
I did. Yeah, it was light slate last night, but two games weren't terrible. I did hate that the Blues game was on NHL Network. Having one of the two games of the night on NHL Network drives me crazy. Although incredible development. The hotel that I stay at in Chicago every time, the hotel bar did not have TVs until last week, apparently. And then they installed TVs and they had NHL Network. So I was saved last night.
Did you watch the hit Netflix docuseries, not docuseries, just miniseries, Inventing Anna?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, my issue with NHL...
It's a broke-ass bar.
So generally, a lot of NHL Network stuff, coverage, feeds, people calling the games from shoeboxes... It gives heavy broke ass.
It sure does. I mean, it sure does. The having people call games from a studio drives me insane. It's unfair to the people that you're employing to call the games, and it's unfair to like the viewers. It's obviously a worse experience, and just like you're the NHL Network, you should have prime time access to like every NHL game. Just send the people to the fucking game.
You have the money to do it. The quality is so much worse. As you said, like I remember when people first started doing that because of COVID, and of course you knew it's going to happen. Places are going to find out they can do it and save money on it, so they just won't send people anymore. But I remember people were like, whoa, so-and-so is calling a real bad game tonight. Or this, and I'm like, how the fuck? They're not there. They can't, they're not overlooking everything. They're just sitting in a different room pretending to get all hype. And when you're there and you're calling a game, that excitement and that energy, you're not faking that. If we're sitting in a studio and we have to call something that's on a monitor in front of us, I'd be like, yo, why are you yelling?
The NHL Network is really interesting just because like there are 4,000 people that work for the NHL Network. Anytime you tune in, you're going to see like a different cast of characters. But like they have a lot of good people that work for the NHL Network. And there are like some people that I just every time I tune in, I'm like, who is this person? But there are a lot of good people that work for them. So I don't want to like completely dump on the NHL Network. Just knowing how much money the league has and how good that station could be, it seems like they really mail it in.
Which of your the two games last night was your favorite?
Probably the Blues and Golden Knights, just because it was a little bit more juicy.
The stakes were high. And the Blues, if you didn't watch this game, we'll catch up, mainly just because I want to talk about an absolute fucking clown show moment. The Blues tie the game late. They're trailing 1-0 the whole way. They tie the game late, force overtime. Pavel Buchnevich gets a penalty shot in overtime. And what we end up seeing from Logan Thompson, who is playing because Aiden Hill's hurt, Logan Thompson gets a start for Vegas. And on this penalty shot, he makes the most cartoonish, dramatized, slipped on a fucking banana peel save I've ever seen in my life. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter sharing it, being like, this is funny, this is weird, why did this happen? And it's like, because he was being a fucking tough guy. He went like this and then lost his balance going like this and ended up getting like the and fell down in front of everybody.
I don't know if he was being a tough guy, but like he was for sure selling the glove save in like a dramatic fashion, and maybe like, you know how when you celebrate violently, sometimes you just like fall down or fall into the end boards, and you're like, oh shit, I look like a doofy idiot now. Like I didn't come away being like, wow, Logan Thompson is a jackass. I was like, that was just kind of maybe it backfired how much he was trying to sell it and be a showman there.
Yeah, but that's why he's a jackass. I don't care. It's just not good behavior. I think it's
good behavior. I love when goalies celebrate, especially in that moment. Like if you were getting smoked and it was like a 3-1 game towards the end of the third period or whatever, like, and you try to sell the breakaway or a penalty shot glove save in overtime of a pretty meaningful game, I think you're allowed to really put some spice on that one. And that's what he did. I respect it. He got burned by what happened after the fact. Did anybody ask him about it after the game?
I don't know. I was not on coverage for that one. I was calling that one from the studio.
That's right. I would say if nobody asked him about it, that's bad behavior. That's worse behavior than trying to embellish the glove save.
The chat is active on this. Generally on my side, we do have a what a save by Thompson, but we also have a lot of Looney Tunes ass save, Tom and Jerry ass save. Somebody noted the Lena Solmark on our show, 1 windmill per period.
That's where I was going to go. When you look at how the game ended, ultimately, I think the save probably got the boys fired up.
Yeah, I mean, because right after Jonathan Marchessault won the game, and the St. Louis Blues are dead. They're never going to win anything again for the rest of the season. I kid. But this was an important 2 points for them. They were only able to get 1, and Vegas ends up getting 2. Vegas is going to go again tonight. So this one did cost the Blues. But again, like, I'm happy that. Worse. What's that?
You know who it costs worse? The Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild, that was like the worst case scenario for the Wild because the two teams above them got at least 1 point.
Yeah, that's true. I am happy that he made that save, though, and that he did it as flamboyantly as he did, because that was the most exciting part of the game. Also,
sounds like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth right now, pal.
No, I said it's bad behavior. I don't care. Like, I support that he does it, but it was a little bit of a, and I don't say jackass derogatorily. Rarely do I. I like that he did it.
You got to specify that.
It was funny. Mainly, I'm upset. I loaded a banana peel slipping sound onto the soundboard, and I can't get it on my phone. If my computer were working better last night, I was going to put like a skateboard underneath him and make it like he fucked up a kickflip, because that's what it looked. It looked like something was beneath him that he was unable to keep his balance on. It was
I don't know if I would say he'd fucked up a kickflip. It felt like a mom cleaning the house and accidentally steps on her son's skateboard and like didn't know that it was there and went ass over tea kettle.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've never rooted for a shootout more, though. I was like, I need him to get back in there. I need him to face like 10 more shots. I think Tom and Jerry ass save was the best way it was put. But the Knights do top the Blues in overtime. As you said, Wild probably need 2 total points awarded. It ends up being 3. Tell you what, though, if you thought that the slate was boring last night, which it was, didn't really watch much of Canucks Kings, didn't care about it too much. Tonight's slate is very good. And to tease the slate grade presented by Game Time, I haven't come up with my final decision, but we might be in A territory, because there is tonight the biggest game of the season thus far.
Which one?
Red Wings Capitals.
Yeah, that's a big one. There are a few big games tonight. My big, I don't want to shoot our load too early on the slate grade. My only complaint about the slate grade tonight is that it's a somewhat of a weak finish.
Yes, I agree with that. I was going to start. I was looking at it. I was like, man. Again, we're dipping into it a little bit, but I mean, like, Panthers, Bruins, tops in the Atlantic, tied in points. That's a big one. You got the Capitals and the Red Wings. As it goes on, boy, oh boy, does it fall off. It's also not my favorite structure, so not amazing.
There is a little nugget at the tail end of things, and I wanted to ask Sean about it. Shane Doan's son is projected to make his NHL debut for
Show him,
the
Sean.
Coyotes.
Show him, Sean.
It's gonna take a second.
Take a second. We got time.
Sean got a ASU jersey on. You got a Shane Doan jersey.
Better.
What does it say? It's
Josh Doan, homegrown.
I like that.
You can buy that at the PHNXlocker.com. He was a former NIL. He had an NIL deal with PHNX. Shout out.
Wow.
PHNX. I'm really repping the brand today.
I got to say,
a real company, man.
I feel like you don't see a ton of college hockey NIL.
No, I mean, when you're at ASU and all the other sports are dog shit, and like hockey, especially building mullet, like it became like a hot topic around ASU circles. And also when your dad is like, we have a mural of his dad on the wall in the office in PHNX. So
damn.
Also, it's the best hockey team in the city, in the state, I guess.
You could make that argument. Actually, the women's club team at ASU, I'm pretty sure they were just like in the national championship. Their club hockey in Arizona is like pretty ridiculous. It's wild.
Can I say I've never understood what club hockey was?
It's just not NCAA hockey. It's like guys. It's like guys and women who are already at the school and are like playing.
Right,
as a
but
club.
that there is still some major structure to it. Confuses me a little bit.
I mean, essentially, club hockey is like a level below D3. It's organized and it's respectable. It's
like high school sports.
It's D4, yeah.
Just being an
does Doan move the needle for you making his debut? Like, are you going to tune into that game tonight?
Yeah, I'll watch it. It'll be cool. I mean, Josh Doan, he scored the first ever goal at Mullet. I don't know. It's cool, especially for a team that doesn't have a whole lot going for it right now. It's fun to have something positive. And honestly, like I never was able to really gauge how much of an NHL prospect he actually was, because everyone there was hyping him up so much because of his last name. So it's really cool to see that he is actually an NHL player. He was an all-star in the AHL for Tucson and now making his debut.
I gotta say,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, he has so much pressure on him to actually be something.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, it's like everyone there loves him. Like, unless he is a downright bad hockey player, like I think he's going to have a pretty long leash amongst Coyotes fans.
I gotta say, the chat is not being nice to club hockey. I thought that I was coming at it a little as a bit of a skeptic. Somebody said that it's beer league with your school's jersey.
Oh,
on.
it is.
Oh, that's not true.
I mean, it's better than that. Like, it's kids who were good at hockey. Like, it's not just like anybody. They definitely were like decent players in high school. Like Syracuse, for example. They had a club team. There's plenty of reasons why you'd want to go to Syracuse rather than like be a D3 hockey player. So you might as well go play club at like a real school. Stuff like that. But like it's not like these kids could be playing D1 hockey. They're not that good in most circumstances.
Speaking of beer league, and this isn't in the rundown, but it does interest me, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. We talked yesterday about how Jim Montgomery was yelling at the boys during practice yesterday. I saw a bunch of footage of it afterwards. He was having them do sprints, do gassers, really working the boys hard. Is that good behavior? Is that hardo stuff this late in the season? And if you're Jim Montgomery, who is supposed to be the softy coach, is anybody in that room buying it?
I think they should be. And I think if in particularly like the Bruins context, there's no such thing as hardo behavior for the Bruins right now because they need to get their asses kicked right before the playoffs. Like they need to get their shit kicked into gear.
I kind of agree with that. And the video is just funny, like watching Jake DeBrusk and Brad, like all these players doing sprints for like 15 minutes straight, like it's fucking high school tryouts, is really weird. But
the best part of it was the goalies. The goalies were like so far behind that like the skaters were coming towards them as they were doing, so they'd have to like skate out of the way of the oncoming rush of players.
I couldn't tell, like, were they doing something different? Is there some other thing that goalies do, or were they just so slow?
I think they were just slow. I feel like you shouldn't make your goalies do sprints. Like, I can't imagine what was happening during practice that, like, Jim Montgomery was like, this is the goaltender's faults.
That's bad teammate. One person runs, everyone runs. That's
I
like
guess.
old-fashioned middle school football.
Man, there goes communist Sean. Sean is everything. He's a Republican. He's
I'm pro
a libertarian.
collective punishment, which is a war crime.
You the type of dude that says you're fiscally conservative.
I mean, I don't know. Without making this a politics podcast, I have a very complicated view of the world, I guess.
He's like, I'm socially liberal, but I'm fiscally conservative. That's
I'm
Sean.
not fiscally conservative. I'm just realistic. Like I think the rich should be taxed, but I also know that the rich run everything, so they're not going to get taxed.
Neither of you guys watch 30 Rock, right?
No.
Dennis, aka Mayhem from the insurance ads, is the best. Somebody asks him his politics, and he says, socially conservative, fiscally liberal. Amazing.
Well, I was going to say, by the way, the Blackhawks were also made to do backskate yesterday, which I find hilarious.
That's hard good behavior.
That's hard behavior.
I don't think that's good behavior. I think that like you got to get those guys like cake and stuff, and
that's pizza party territory.
What's that?
I said it's pizza party time. Like it's just like the year's almost over.
Here's a theory. Maybe Luke Richardson's been paying attention to the Connor Bedard and Brock Faber debate, and he's not about to let Brock Faber overtake Connor Bedard in the Calder debate. So he's like, listen, all you bozos, get your ass into gear so that Connor gets something out of this season, because it's the only thing that the Blackhawks have to play for right now.
I mean, we can skip ahead to that. We should hit an ad read in a second, but whatever. Let's skip ahead to that. That Joe Smith did write in The Athletic, making Brock Faber's case for the Calder, NHL players and coaches on why he could edge Connor Bedard. If you've heard Brock Faber's name on this show, it's generally been us making fun of Brock Faber for not passing Connor Bedard in points while Connor Bedard was out for a while. Faber, if you do not know, is a rookie defenseman for the Minnesota Wild. He is a very good player. He's an important piece to what they are doing. This is around the type of year where people write, I don't want to say dumbass because there is a case to be made. It's a losing case, but this type of thing. Back when I was on a beat, I would do it. Say, why Patrice Bergeron deserves the Hart this year? Psst, he didn't deserve the Hart. It was gonna be Stamkos or whomever. Somebody else.
That was me with Connor Hellebuck. Like, I think at least like 2 years, I was like, Connor Hellebuck deserves a Hart because the Jets are atrocious defensively, and he should not only win Vezina, he should win Hart. And I didn't actually believe it, but there was a case to be made.
I'll tell you what, you can make cases. It was like us with the Seth Jones trade sort of thing. Like, hey, this isn't going to happen, but let's examine it. Let's discuss it. Let's ask the question. Let's honestly, between you and me, give Mike Greer some ideas.
And you never know, because if you don't ask the question, then Joe Flacco never becomes comeback player of the year.
Whoa.
So
I've been banging the drum of like, hey, there is not a conversation around the Calder. It belongs to Connor Bedard. It's a open and shut case. Just give it to Bedard. And if somebody wants to push back with like, I disagree with that, let me make my case for Brock Faber. I have more of an appetite for that. But if you start off with Brock Faber should win the Calder over Connor Bedard, it's a bad starting point for me because I just don't believe it. We can get into this discussion, but I'm firmly in the camp that Connor Bedard is the Calder, and it's not much of a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is. So let's get into it. Thanks a lot, fucking NHL. 2 games last night. From Joe Smith. Bedard is a great player. By the way, chat, hammer all the puns and whatever. Do what you need to do. We can dick around today.
They're currently making fun of you for saying that Faber is edging Bedard.
Well,
you also said that the
Knights topped
the Blues.
I caught that.
So you're doing some sexual stuff on this show.
I mean, that's like the 14th gayest thing I'm going to say on this because like
just you wait.
We have upcoming topics. Don't worry.
You don't. Neither one of those is inherently gay. You went there yourself.
I mean, when you're talking about two men, it is.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Faber edging Bedard would be gay, I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
Both of those
I'm
would
an
gay.
all-men's hockey
the words
team.
themselves are not like
That's
like,
true.
It's just what the
inherently
words
gay.
mean were. Do I have to fucking gay-splain to you? Jesus, Pete. Bedard writes, Joe Smith is a great player. Hey, everybody in the chat, make fun of Pete for not knowing what gay is. Bedard is a great player. He might become historically great. Off to a bad start. It's already starting with the look, we know that people think Bedard is good. No, shut up. He's good, and he's better than your guy. But Bedard is a great player. He might become historically great. But to many around the NHL, what Faber is doing this season is even greater. Who should win the Calder Trophy? It's not cut and dried. Quote, you can make a very strong case, said Eddie Olczyk. It's a 1-2 punch, said Darren Pang. But while most expected this to be a Bedard runaway victory heading into the year, Faber could make it a photo finish, as shown in Dom Luszczyszyn's latest award watch with data as of March 13th, Faber's net rating of 4.8, which is based on both offensive and defensive metrics, was atop all rookies with Bedard at 1.7. One, Joe Smith, I don't know you. Love you, respect you. I don't think you're a stat nerd. I don't think he's a stat nerd. Don't play the stat nerd card just to win your fake Brock Faber thing that you're not going to win. I don't care what that stat from Don Luszczyszyn means. And I'm pretty sure I subscribe to his stuff.
Yeah. Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Anything that brings like defensive metrics into the Connor Bedard discussion, I just have no time for. Like, I understand that Connor Bedard has been really bad defensively. That's why I'm throwing away the plus minus. I don't give a shit about the plus minus. I don't give a shit about his defensive rating. And it's primarily because nobody else is on the Blackhawks. And that's like twofold. I think that helps Connor Bedard's case both offensively and defensively, because he's getting all the worst matchups every given night because they don't have to worry about anybody else on that fucking team. So they just throw all their best players and all their toughest matchups at Bedard, and he's still almost a point per game player as a rookie, which is a tough thing to do as a rookie no matter what, but it's especially tough when you play with a bunch of fucking bozos. No disrespect to the Chicago Blackhawks, but we can look at the roster and say, ugh. And the rotating cast of characters that he's had to play with and elevate has been really tough. So that's my case for Connor Bedard, and it sort of begins and ends there for me.
Yes, and in the case of Brock Faber, you could get into the whole MVP kind of thing of, well, what would they be if would they be pushing for a playoff spot or doing this or whatever if Brock Faber weren't there? If Connor Bedard weren't there, the Blackhawks would be moving. They would be relocating the team by the end of the season. Aaron Portzline, who wrote an incredible thing today in The Athletic explaining why the Blue Jackets are the biggest joke and saddest franchise in the history of the world, would be being called into Chicago to be on the case of how bad the Blackhawks are. So obviously it's more exciting to contend for the playoffs than to contend for Macklin Celebrini, but Bedard is way more incredible. Just watch both teams. Is way more outstanding a player. I said before the season started that by the end of the year, he'd be the second best player in the league. He got hurt. We haven't quite gotten there, but watching him already, you're he's got one of the best shots in the league. He's an incredible offensive player, and getting into anything that could be touched by the rest of his team, such as defense, plus minus, all that is outrageous.
And I feel a little bit bad for Brock Faber, who, by the way, somebody in the chat said Brock Gaber, and I thought that was very funny. No, I feel bad for Brock Faber at this point just because I feel like we're being put in a position to hate him because he's being forced into this discussion. And I know when Connor Bedard got hurt, we did a little bit of light mockery of Brock Faber and how the lights were too bright. Turn them off. Couldn't get any points when that race was ramped up. Brock Faber has been really awesome and been somewhat of a savior for the Minnesota Wild this year. The Minnesota Wild as much as we say that they're mid and uninteresting, they would be way worse if it weren't for Brock Faber. And I think that the workload that he's had to shoulder and basically become a number one defenseman in his first year in the league, really, really impressive. And maybe in a normal year or in any other year, that gets him the Calder. But he's going up against a generational talent in Connor Bedard, and Connor Bedard has delivered on the hype despite, some extenuating circumstances based off of what's been around him, the media hype, the media craze, some of the stuff that's gone on off the ice. Like, I just think that Bedard has lived up to his billing, and that to me, it seals it for me. Like, Bedard is the Calder.
Yeah, you said generational talent, but then added that he's actually producing like it. And that's what's important. Like, you could bake in whatever stories you like, and it's nice that Faber's good. He's really good. He's got 40 points in 71 games. Hell yeah, shout out him. But Bedard has outproduced him, playing far fewer games than him. So that's that. You mentioned that we did some light mocking of Brock Faber. It was extremely heavy mocking of Brock Faber. I blame Sean for that. Sean was for sure driving that bus. And
I mean, I was just stating facts and letting people do with it what they would.
It's Sean's job as a producer to find the storylines where maybe we're not finding them. And as soon as Connor Bedard got hurt, Sean was like, "Do you think Brock Faber catches him in points?" And so that was on our radars. We were keeping a close eye on that, and all we were pointing out was that he suddenly went quiet.
Well,
no, I was gonna say I feel like this was incredible, like super predictable, because at the beginning of the season, I feel like I was having this conversation about Logan Cooley, where I was just like, people are gonna look for a reason to not give Connor Bedard the Calder. Like, if anyone's even close, they're gonna look for a reason. And I didn't expect it to be Brock Faber necessarily, but that's obviously what's happened.
Well, your punishment for being so mean to Brock Faber is you have been the busiest person in the world the last 3 minutes, because the chat is just absolutely hammering.
They are going crazy.
Pro-gay hockey pun names. Very, I mean, I don't want to say a lot of them. They're all appropriate and they're all supportive.
We also have a very diverse chat, I feel like, in terms of sexual identity. So it's not like we got a bunch of randos making these comments.
Somebody explained recently to somebody, they were like, "Oh, DJ does a show about him just trying to make hockey as black and gay as possible." And I was like, that's the coolest job in the world. Never heard it put that way.
I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I slightly dabble in watching WWE sometimes. I find it slightly entertaining. The other night I was watching an old episode like a week old, and they were in San Jose, and two black wrestlers were there wearing Sharks jerseys. And I was just like, fucking right. This is black as it gets. I love it.
I love that.
I thought you were going in a different direction there when DJ was like talking about making the show black and gay, and you were like, "Well, people don't know this, but I dabble in wrestling." I was like, "Okay."
That would have been a bombshell.
It really would have. I was like, "Whoa, okay, here we go. Big news, big show news." Now it's just Sean's into wrestling.
I mean, where hockey is for everyone, guys. We're going to talk about the Jeremy Swayman Jewish thing in a little bit. It is a little, I don't know if it's weird, awkward, whatever, if like none of us are whatever thing we're supporting, but like we've pushed a lot of, like, we didn't talk about it. I love that the Kings did an Armenian night the other night. I ordered a bunch of the merch because I am Armenian, but if either of you guys liked it, I would hope that you'd get on it. Violent Gentleman made it, so it actually is very sick. We're big. Hockey is for everyone, folks. We love you all. Almost as much, sincerely, almost as much, more than we love all of you and hockey being for everyone. We love Prize Picks. So maybe not great for us. Maybe not amazing, but we just love Prize Picks so much. More than I love being Armenian, I love Prize Picks. It's a really weird affliction that I have. It's all I think about. I go
more
to
than we like hockey being super inclusive.
Yes.
We like Prize Picks.
I go to church on Sunday and I'm like, hold on, I just gotta you know, like Christ may be risen, football season may be over, but the action's just heating up on the court. Did you know that?
Yes.
Gonna get a little religious on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's the best because this time of year with all the college basketball action, Lord knows we've been busy on that. Watching, you watch Caitlin Clark last night? You watch Paige Becker?
Unfortunately, I watched Paige Becker because she torched Syracuse, but I did watch both.
Oh, that's right. You see Gino getting a little mouthy after.
Yeah.
You heard he said?
No, I did not, but Gino's old and washed. He needs to go.
I absolutely believe that would be your take. He said they were like, great game. And he was like, yeah, well, we have the best player in the sport.
Oh, I kind of respect that. I think people kind of forgotten how fucking good Paige Beckers is.
Yeah.
Like she I think is probably a better all-around basketball player than Caitlin Clark.
Ooh,
Caitlin Clark is just the best at one thing.
Well, you can win up to 100x your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy app. I told you about community plays. You know you can find there. Boy, oh boy, jump on there. See if old Schultzy's hanging around. It is an incredible time. Go to prizepicks.com/whatchaos and use code whatchaos for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/whatchaos and use code whatchaos. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Also got to talk about AG1, our friends, because I use AG1. It is a great little part of a routine that I have. Although I haven't this week. I'm on the road. Didn't bring my AG1 with me. I regret it. I don't feel as good as I normally do. A little less energy.
You don't even know what gay means.
Health. Say again?
You don't even know what gay means.
I don't. AG1 is a part of my morning routine. Just a little scoop of the powder. You throw it in the water and bam, got a little bit more energy than you normally would have. You're taking care of your gut health. It's a nice little foundational nutritional supplement that's super easy to use. It tastes delicious, lovely, supports your immune system, helps you not get sick. I don't know if you've noticed this, but over the past couple of months, a couple of guys in this podcast been sick, but it hasn't been me because I've been doing my AG1. So AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support to my body daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a sponsor of this show. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/whatchaos. That's drinkag1.com/whatchaos. Check it out. Free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs.
I'll tell you what, on the whole sickness thing, I got to like 60% late last week. Never got any better. I still kind of suck.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, the false flag of being like, false flag is probably not the right phrase, but you know, you think you're getting there and then it stops halfway short. I also appear to have become a gay icon.
Yes, Hockey is for Everyone update. People are declaring Sean a lesbian icon.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'll take it.
No other gay people like Sean.
Just lesbians.
Only lesbians.
I also saw Sean DePause. Was pretty funny.
I've definitely heard that one before.
I actually, maybe I have like, I don't want to say sense of humor. I was like a pretty pause isn't funny guy for a while.
It has
because
big
I
no
felt like it was
energy.
being.
It was basically just no homo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I felt that it had just become a replacement for no homo, and I forget who said it. I don't want to say the wrong athlete, but an athlete said pause during a press conference, and everyone was like,
"It's happened a few times." I feel like it has kind of become a little bit of just like anything sexual, but definitely early on, it was definitely just a better way, I guess, of saying no homo.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I also saw recently that the kids are now saying no Diddy as no homo, which like, I'm a big anti like no homo, and also in whatever form that it's taken, but like no Diddy seems like a a force to me.
No, Diddy also has a little bit more going on than just being gay, it appears. Like,
Yeah, right.
He might be a predator. So
Can I be
let's
honest?
not
I was just gonna say
conflate those things.
I know nothing about the Diddy thing.
I've kind of just seen vague things. I mean, I don't know how much you could trust the internet. It just seems like he might be out here preying on a little Kevin Spacey.
I
Preying
mean,
on young boys.
to be honest, most of the Diddy things I've seen posted have been Antonio Brown tweets, and that's not a great news.
Antonio,
source.
I will say, Antonio Brown did put out a banger the other day. A great career DeMar Hamlin when Damian Harris retired.
Yes.
Could not put that. I did not make any sense, but that was hilarious.
I was gonna say if there's more, I was sending it around to friends and we were like kind of laughing at it, but I didn't know if there was a joke I was missing. He was wearing a like DH shirt. It said like DH3, which is a cousin of AG1.
I don't. I've stopped trying to understand. I've stopped trying to understand Antonio Brown.
I feel like Antonio Brown has become like more in on the joke, or at least more like aware of what is might be funny, rather than just throwing out crazy problematic shit. And
yeah, I mean, he still has that every once in a while, but he yeah. I mean, he's definitely not like.
At least he's not like whipping his dick out in public pools anymore.
Yeah,
Growth. I think the
far as we know.
CTESPN hashtag is really corny. I can't get over.
I mean, it was funny at first, I guess, but then he's just made it like his entire brand, and I was just like, okay. Like you having it's gotten to a point where it's like we're not laughing. I'm like starting to feel bad.
Okay, well, we do have a hockey is for everyone update. We have celebrated time and again Zach Hyman's heritage and any, let's say, non-traditional, just born in New York or Toronto, Catholic, etc., any other spice of life that can be sprinkled into this wonderful game of ours. Breaking news, as of yesterday, well, I guess as of his entire life, Jeremy Swayman is Jewish, and we learned this via a cameo that he put out. This Twitter account, which I have now followed, and it's my favorite account, at Jewish Hockey, tweeted, Jeremy Swayman talks about his Alaskan bar mitzvah. That's right. He's one of the frozen chosen, a proud Alaskan Jew. I sent this to my group text. My pal Scott Hyman was very quick to respond. Frozen chosen is a quote unquote banger.
It's a bar.
Yeah.
Loves that.
I love that too.
So go ahead.
I've got another slight banger. You can tell me. Does that make Jeremy Swayman the Bear Jew? Because he plays for the Bruins.
This would be a reference to the Quentin Tarantino film.
Mm-hmm.
Glorious Bastards.
Teddy fucking ball game hits that one on the Lansdowne.
I mean, Jeremy Swayman being the Bear Jew, but I do love Frozen Chosen. Frozen Chosen, yeah. Frozen Chosen is awesome. And for sure, Jewish hockey players are having a moment right now. 100%.
Breaking news, Emily in our chat says she was the one who posted that Cameo clip. She broke the news of Jeremy Swayman being Jewish. Hey.
Doing the Lord's work.
What a fucking weird show we have.
Incredibly weird. I can't imagine just being part of like the old guard of hockey and you hop in and they're like, it's just gay and Jewish, and you're like, what the fuck? Not the sport I love.
Nobody,
now it is, motherfucker.
Nobody on the show is gay or Jewish. And we are not appropriating. We are celebrating that. Sean and I had this conversation one time of like, hockey is for everyone. Obviously, it means that you'd like to make it more diverse and make everybody feel welcome. But another way of looking at it, and it's to a lesser degree, but it's something that I think we all celebrate, is the idea of hockey being a party that you walk into and you're like, oh shit, like everyone's here.
Turn it into the fucking Olympic Village.
Yeah, like you walk into the room and you see turbans and you see all sorts of different things and also like men, women, everybody. And you can't guess what brought all these people together. And if someone's like, oh, this is hockey, that's cool as fuck. Because I'll tell you what, like the Oilers Punjabi thing they did the other day, amazing. I talked about the Kings and the Armenian stuff. Just spent $1 million on all that merch. We love it.
As
Go
pointed
ahead.
out by the chat, there might be an update here too. Is Johnny Lazarus in the doghouse? Because Emily has overtaken him as What Chaos's top insider.
No, it's very important to me that Johnny Lazarus, I was going to say like thinks he's an insider. But that is true. That's it. It's very important to me that Johnny Lazarus fancies himself our insider, but still has the...
He's still our insider if he's in the doghouse. It's just not good behavior.
I mean, he is still quite literally on our physical doghouse.
I mean,
that we have on the wall.
I'm looking at our doghouse right now, and we have the picture in there.
I do have an update from last night too. I talked to Johnny, and he did confirm that he made that meal, the spaghetti and parm, and he said, "quote I'm trying my best." And so
I feel bad for Johnny.
And he also said, "quote this is why I'm single," which like seems like Johnny Lazarus is just looking for love, and I love that about him.
By far, my favorite characteristic of Johnny Lazarus is that he's down on his luck with the ladies.
I love that within like the first 5 minutes of him making his first appearance on the show, he was like, "I got ghosted over the weekend."
How you doing?
Tough,
How you doing,
tough
Johnny?
sledding right now.
Not good.
Just got my heart broken. It's all right. I'm gonna go eat chicken parm.
I know that dating shows are all the rage right now. In the off season, do we do like looking for Laz?
Yes,
I love that.
Love that.
It
Laz
is
in love.
Laz in Love. Yeah, we can think of a good name. I think Laz in Love is the winner.
Looking for Laz rolls off the tongue. It's just not necessarily the most original name, I guess.
Looking for Laz sounds more like it's about us trying to make a dating show with Johnny Lazarus, but he keeps wandering off like Joe Biden, and we just like can't find him.
It
He's,
reminds
like,
me of Searching for Sugarman.
Yeah, he keeps like crossing the street, and we're like, why does he keep crossing the street? He's always on the other side of the street.
Sean, do you know about Sugarman?
I don't think so.
Searching for Sugarman is like a documentary about a musician who like was extremely famous in I think a South American country, and like didn't even know it, and he was just like the most popular and wasn't popular anywhere else. And the documentary person was like trying to find him to be like, "Yo, you are the Beatles in this country." And it was super, super interesting.
That's going to be us if we go to Germany. We're going to get off the plane and be like, "You guys are the shit. You're the biggest hockey podcast in Germany."
Kind of like the Macarena guys.
Yes.
I told that story to Tyler. Somebody says Laz Island. That's pretty good. Laz Island could be good. But so Mazel Tov and congratulations to Jeremy Swayman and the whole Jewish hockey community, because I'll tell you what, I wanted
to say he was talking about his bar mitzvah and basically said that his bar mitzvah was just like an outdoor bar mitzvah with just his dad.
Yeah.
Which
problematic. No girls allowed.
And it's just like, that's such a weird bar mitzvah. I would feel like I was sold a bill of goods if I was a Jewish kid and like hearing about like how cool bar mitzvahs are. And like, they're like one of the biggest parties of your life. And then it's just like you hanging out with your dad.
I feel like if you grew up in Alaska, you were probably pretty conditioned to not having things be as celebratory as they normally are in American culture.
Yeah.
You probably don't have a whole lot of people around you, let alone, I mean, maybe there's a lot of Jewish people in Alaska. I'm not really too familiar with their population, but.
Next time I run into Jeremy Swayman in like 2 hours, I'm going to have a lot of questions for him. But a great part of this, and did we play the cameo? Yeah, let's quickly play his cameo where he's wishing somebody a happy bar mitzvah.
Hey Nate, Jeremy Swayman here from the Bruins. Your dad, mom, sister, and I want to wish you a happy bar mitzvah, and I'm so excited to be a part of it, man. I had a pretty unique bar mitzvah myself up in Alaska. It was just my dad and I actually, and we did it outside, so it was a pretty unique experience. So I think
we love him. It's incredible. What a sincere, great cameo on his part. This led to people, and Emily, maybe this was you, Emily in the chat. People just started posting other Jeremy Swayman TikTok cameos on Twitter last night, and they are incredible. Here's another one where he's wishing somebody a happy engagement with Brad Marchand.
Hey Brett, Jeremy Swayman here. Really excited reaching out to you on behalf of Kyler. And I don't know if you know this or not yet, but it sounds like he's going to be proposing to you. So, surprise. You guys sound like you have such an incredible relationship. It reminds me a lot of me and Marsh's relationship, actually. He's here. So,
Congratulations.
oh yeah, Marsh says congrats too. I was thinking about proposing to him as well, but he's already got a wife, unfortunately, so maybe I'll try to sneak my way into that family somehow. But really special that I get this opportunity to reach out to you guys and not only wish you nothing but the best in your future, but so excited to be a part of your special day. And obviously you two are huge Bruins fans, and having little Bruins running around eventually is going to be really special. So excited for you both. And Brett, Kyler wants you to know that you are his best friend, and he loves you more than anything and can't imagine his life without you. So again, you two have such an incredible relationship. Again, like Marshy and I.
Congratulations.
I watch
So
him.
happy for you guys.
Yep, there he goes. I watch him bike and he watches me eat pizza. So it's an incredible relationship all around. But Brett, all the best to you and congratulations, and we'll see you at a Bruins game very soon.
Oh my God. Just
The
like,
best.
boy, oh boy, two for two on incredible cameos that were posted. Shocker, Emily immediately confirmed in the chat that she posted that as well.
Nice.
And she posted it, I believe she posted it with Bettman can ban the jerseys, but he can't ban this. And it's Swayman being like, what up, gay couple? Hell yeah. I wish I were
and-
married to Brad Marchand. Life sucks
Important
when I'm
note-
not.
Important note for anybody who is listening on audio and not watching on YouTube and hasn't seen that video. It's Jeremy Swayman recording his cameo while in a full suit eating pizza in a gym while Brad Marchand is on the exercise bike like 2 feet away from him. And just the juxtaposition of Swayman being fully suited up and just like flirting with Marchand while he's working out is very, very funny.
I will say somebody put the name in the chat that I was going to say off the top, but without introing all this, it felt a little inappropriate. I was going to say, what up, what nuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, St. Louis Blunt Nuts, straight men, gay men, and Jeremy Swayman. It would have been a
I do
little
like that.
confusing off the top.
It's very exclusionary to the women, but
You're right. No, I mean, gotta be a little asshole somewhere.
I just love how sweet of a man Jeremy Swayman is. As I mentioned to you when we were in Toronto for the All-Star game, when we were on the same flight as him, and when we were waiting for our bag, some man came up to him and basically had him do like an impromptu cameo and wished like the guy's daughter or something a happy birthday. Guy's just a superstar.
I'm on Swayman's cameo right now, and
Yeah.
he has
Same.
273 reviews, a 4.99, which who is the asshole who didn't
Right.
give him that full 5? Reading
Probably a
some
straight
of-
person.
I mean, I clicked around and watched a lot of his cameos, and I'm talking a lot. They're like 5-6 minutes long, sincere, thought out. I mean, he couldn't not be sweet. He couldn't be not sweet if he wanted to. He just got that sweetness in him.
Mhm.
The reviews are all incredible. They're just like, this guy changed my life with this cameo. This is the best $200 I've ever spent in my life.
Somebody said Jeremy has a lot of cameos that are very gay. I hate how much I like him as a Habs fan. Like, agreed.
Jeez, I mean, same.
Swayman sees a family and goes, "That's mine," which very true. But he also opens up his own family for anybody else that wants to join his. So
That's true. That's true.
it's a two-way street. This makes me want to. I know that like our finances aren't in the most strong shape, but it just makes me want to buy a cameo from Jeremy Swayman, even though I am almost 100% positive we could get a personalized video message for free. I want to just put in a request and see what he does for us.
Well, like I said the exact same thing before the show. Like you could probably get it for free, but he could say no if you ask him for free.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Well, you can for Cameo too. Like you accept the ones that you want.
True, but it's way harder to say no if someone's paying you $200 to do it.
just between him being a friend of the show, a Jewish hero, gay icon, everything, like checking really a lot of boxes for us. I wish we had the finances to just like either weekly appearance, something like that. Like, do we make him part of the fabric of this show? Maybe reallocate the money that we pay Felger to be an executive producer reallocate that to Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely be down with Jeremy Swayman just being our weekly guest, weekly check-in.
Okay, well, let us get to apologies. This is going to be the second. Actually, quickly, I'll say, if you haven't seen the Oilers miking up Zach Hyman for his 50th goal, it is the absolute greatest, because as he is getting the puck and tapping it into the net, you could hear Leon Draisaitl screaming Hyman, and then they all celebrate together. It's all the boys, and he says, "Do you have the thanks, boys?"
I have the whole thing.
Whatever. He says, "Thanks, Leo. Thanks, boys." And it's just, we don't know him. He won't come on the show. Maybe he would want to. Oilers won't let us have him.
Yeah, I don't want to put that at Zach Hyman's feet, because I just think that it's not getting past the first layer of approval.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's had an opportunity to decline being on the show. Maybe we have a better chance in the summer or something, but I tried to explain the concept of Zach Hyman and the lore of Zach Hyman to Ellen last night, and she was just like, "Don't know, don't care, but it sounds like you're in love with this guy." And I was like, more or less, yeah.
Respectfully, let me do it.
Fair. I know, and like we actually talked about this yesterday after like the Zach Hyman reel went out, that like you were like, people are gonna watch this and think that like you're the Zach Hyman guy, and that angers me. And I do want to be careful about not stepping on your toes there, or like not being the Zach Hyman guy on the show, because you've been a Zach Hyman guy for years, and I didn't totally understand why you loved him so much. But I have come along, and I have arrived at just being like, Zach Hyman is one of the most important people to me.
Well,
but
I
do want to give you the credit where credit is due, that you were there first.
I appreciate that. I did famously invent Zach Hyman. I think that also a reason you're probably drawn to him this season is a quality that you and I both share, which is pushing back against people who are saying something stupid. Mm-hmm. And there is discourse about the types of goals that Zach Hyman scores. And both of us are the type to be like, I'm going to double and quadruple down on this guy because you are all being idiots about him, which is why I liked that the impassioned rant, whatever you want to call it, celebration that you gave of Zach Hyman yesterday, and which is why a lot of inspirational music was put beneath it in that reel that I hope is doing very well.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. And like, not to mention fighting back against the like stupid discourse that doesn't really make a ton of sense, but also kind of slandering the name of a, by all intents and purposes, an incredible guy. So like, I love Zach Hyman, the guy, or what I know of the guy, as much as I love Zach Hyman, the hockey player. And that's why I like the mic'd up thing that was released yesterday, was he just seems like the most humble person in the world. Like, he was embarrassed to score 50 goals and that everybody was celebrating him. Just like the sweetest guy in the world.
Rachel in our chat says that she was the one who made the comment about Gary Bettman banning jerseys. What a community we have. We have all of the cool people from Twitter. There's only like 8 cool people on Twitter. It's Emily, apparently. It's Rachel. I like Sean's tweets. Not everybody does, but I do.
I feel like people that see him occasionally like him. I just don't have very many followers.
You're just like, if I just need that push.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the tweet I sent out a very long time ago. I feel like I sent out a lot of stuff that doesn't land to a lot of people, and it's like the Scott Darling thing. It's like, fuck you guys, that was funny. Yeah, I know when I send a good tweet.
I respect that. Pete is like a well-known good Twitter person. I'm a little maybe too smart for my own good. That's what's often been said about me. The Norm Macdonald style mini driver joke I made yesterday did gangbusters. I saw a lot of discourse about that on the internet. Got posted on Reddit even. Did it really? I don't know. Could have been.
Okay. I had a guy at the studio when I was doing the show yesterday, came up to me. He was like, that Matt Damon mini driver joke that was made on your podcast today was a very good joke, but the kind of joke that I couldn't laugh at. It just made me like sigh. But like that's kind of like, that was kind of my reaction. My reaction was like, Jesus Christ, good joke.
It took me a second to get it.
Pull that out of a pocket of your brain.
It was like so good, and it was like such a slow burn that all you could really do at the end was be like, Yeah.
Well, without
I appreciate
circumcising
that.
the mosquito, that's all part of it, and that's
Yeah.
all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was very much like all you could do was clap it up after that, because it was just like that was you had to put work in for it, and it landed.
It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
shades of Norm Macdonald, like taking forever to land the plane.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Today on What Chaos, DJ explains, the DJ breaks down his classic mini driver joke. I can also break down a Slate Grade presented by Game Time, because boy, oh boy, we got 12 tonight. 7 p.m. U.S. Bruins at Panthers, 7 p.m. Flyers at Rangers, 7 p.m. Hurricanes at Penguins, 7 p.m. Red Wings at Capitals, 7:30 p.m. Devils at Maple Leafs, 8 p.m. Oilers at Jets, 8 p.m. Golden Knights at Predators, 8:30 p.m. Flames at Blackhawks, 9 p.m. Canadiens at Avalanche, 10 p.m. Blue Jackets at Coyotes, 10 p.m. Ducks at Kraken, 10:30 p.m. Stars at Sharks. As I said before, you have the game of the year, and that Money Puck account also said it's the game of the year.
Coyotes, Blue Jackets. Oh, sorry.
Capitals 1 point ahead of the Red Wings for the second wild card in the East, but they have a game in hand. So that's an incredible game. Got to watch that at 7. Also, at 7 p.m., you've got an Atlantic/President's Trophy race game between the Bruins and Panthers. Both teams have 97 points. The Panthers have a game in hand. 7 p.m., you've also got the Flyers and Rangers, which is a matchup of 2 Metro playoff teams. Oilers at Jets is a matchup of 2 Western Conference playoff teams. The Oilers have lost 2 straight. They're trying to get out of this. We'll see if Evander Kane is back in the lineup or if Leon Draisaitl is still yelling at him. 8 p.m. Golden Knights on the second night of a back-to-back go against the Predators. This is the first wild card versus the second wild card in the West. Knights 3 points behind the Predators. Yeah, the structure kind of sucks and it falls off after this, but I just gave so many good games that I have to give this an A.
Yeah, I don't think the structure sucks. There are a few changes that I would make, a few alterations. Like I could do with that Detroit-Washington game in the 7:30 slot rather than have it be 7 p.m. heavy. And like I think the rest of it is pretty well spread out. And as I've mentioned many times in the past, I love a nice little 10:30 p.m. treat that I can pay attention to if I want to, but don't necessarily have to stay up for. Dallas at San Jose sort of fits that bill, even though it's the Sharks. But like, if Dallas pulls away in the first 30 minutes of that game, I can just go to bed. So I like this. I like the structure.
That's like you're looking at 10:20 p.m. lights out. The last must-see game, puck drops at 8 o'clock.
I am up until whenever my Josh Doan anytime goal scorer bet cashes.
Oh, wow. How about that?
As soon as that happens, I'm going to bed.
Also, late-breaking update, and folks, it's a gay one. The Hurricanes at Penguins is a Pride Night game.
Nice. Nice.
So check that out.
I mean, we got any gay Penguins gear? Like,
Ooh.
and a real lack of gay Penguins on my timeline for a Pride
They
Night
have
tonight.
a gay logo. They have the Pride flag behind their logo or behind their profile picture. So that's a start. That's just immediate.
We've talked about it. Like we need Penguins topping Penguins. Like we don't do the gay logos just with the rainbows, right? Like we want gay logos.
We 20 hours ago, the not to derail from the gay conversation, the Yager bobbleheads arrived.
I did see that, and I didn't even click it. I was like, I don't care about the story anymore.
They made it look a lot more dramatic. It just seems like the next delivery showed up. Like they had like case closed graphic.
No, they got the original delivery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found the original delivery. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of impressive.
Allegedly.
Just I have a feeling there will be more gay stuff on the Twitter tonight, but there is a stunning lack of gay stuff on the Penguins Twitter.
I believe there's been a stunning lack of a like spike, Peter.
I know, I did know that. But I agree with Sean. Need more gay Penguins. But it is time. We have a good amount of people in here and not a good amount of likes. So I appreciate how many people have held out for the like spike, and you are being rewarded right now because it is like spike time. 3, 2, 1. Hit that thumbs up, baby. Spike that like. And also, give us a nice little sub to the YouTube channel. We're getting very close to 5K. So if you're here, please hit that like button. And if you're listening on audio only later in the day, please just head to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It is youtube.com/@whatchaosshow. And we would very much appreciate your YouTube sub, even if you don't particularly tune in for the live YouTube shows.
I did meet a whatnot who said they were not subscribed to YouTube. I'd asked them, are you subscribed to YouTube? And they said, I'm not. Should I be? And I was like, sir, I love that you listen to the show, but like 70% of it, like 30% of it is about gay stuff. 70% of it is about how we'd like you to subscribe to the YouTube. So
Yeah.
shout out that guy. He just really had those walls put up. This has been a fun show. We were able to hit a bunch of topics. We weren't even, well, maybe we could save it for tomorrow. There was a story in Elle Canada about how Tate McRae is changing fashion forever with all of her athletic attire, wearing cleats, wearing hockey pads. It breaks the whole thing down. I read the story. Not the best story, but it's interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, unless a bunch of crazy shit happens over these 12 games. It's an A. All of you guys are an A. Appreciate you. What Chaos? We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.